When people talk about giant monsters like kaiju, names like legendary Godzilla and Kong get thrown around a lot these days, but I think the older generations like the Showa era have some amazing commands like Showa King Ghidorah. And while his opponent is not from the Showa era or anything like that, he does deserve a lot more respect in the community as he does get downplayed quite a bit. But this other combatant would be none other than Alpha Hydranoid from Bakugan Battle Brawlers. These two monsters have a lot more in common than people realize. Besides being three-headed dragon-like aliens, they both are or were aliens at one point and were used on world-threatening events. They also had owners that were the main antagonists of their respective series. With introductions out of the way, we can move on to what each fighter has to offer. We'll first start off with King Ghidorah as he's the more well-known between the two. For this fight, we won't start off with the low ends, but instead jump into the consistent high ends that the end of the Showa era scales to. Getting into it, it's stated multiple times that King Ghidorah from the Showa era at the end is Godzilla's strongest opponent, with a one-on-one fight not being an option for Godzilla. Since Zone Fighter is canon to Godzilla in this era and has appeared in the past as well, we can say Ghidorah upscales Zone Fighter and Doraora, since Godzilla by this point should be stronger than them. This is important because Doraora is a 4th dimensional kaiju from Zone Fighter that Zone Fighter does end up defeating. Not only does he defeat this kaiju, but he also destroyed Doraora's 4th dimensional net that turns the universe into the 4th dimension. To address any skepticism for this line of scaling, we know that later in the same show the characters get stuck in a 4D space that is also stated to be outside space-time. Finally, the advanced radar of the Peacelanders can't extend to this 4D space, and 3D beings have zero visibility in the 4D space. It's safe to say based off of all of this that Zone Fighter and those who scale to him should be Universal Plus. Later on in the series, Zone Fighter fought a Terra Beast who was able to amp himself by 100 times, with Zone Fighter being able to match and beat him. This means that Zone Fighter should have gone 100 times stronger than the last time he fought the 4th dimensional kaiju. From there, in the same show, there's a car compactor that's stated to be able to crush an object that's 10,000 times more durable than Zone Fighter. Ghidorah being stated to have the strongest weapons in the universe would upscale this car compactor. Bare minimum, this would make Ghidorah 1 million times into Universal Plus, but you can get him to 450 million times Universal Plus using the 2 Mechagodzilla films. Moving on to speed, Ghidorah is able to travel from the Space Hunter Nebula M, which is 30,000 light years away from Earth, in 47 seconds. This should be around 450 billion times the speed of light, or massively faster than light plus. Even with a lowball estimate by King of the Monsters, we still get billions of times faster than light. As for hacks, Showa Ghidorah has a lot to offer. The most notable of hacks in this fight would be his durability negation via destroying his opponent's gravity and gravity beams, madness manipulation, and transmutation. Alpha Hydranoid is one of the strongest Bakugan in Season 1. By the end, he is definitely the 3rd strongest before the events of New Vestroia. Dual Hydranoid can press Wyvern, who has the Infinity Core within herself. While Hydranoid does eventually lose this fight, he does show relativity to her prior to evolving.
Oh no you don't! Ability card activate! Darkest Gazer Exedra!
Power level transfer and increase to dual Hydranoid.
No! Wyvern has a lower power level! Surrender or be destroyed!
Later on, Dual Hydranoid then evolves into Alpha Hydranoid and then attacks Naga, who is Wyvern's brother, and forces him to dodge his attack. This implies that Naga saw his attack as a threat to him enough to warrant a dodge. How G was also scared of Alpha Hydranoid during these events despite having Naga on his side.
You're wrong, Naga! I do not seek ultimate power! Then I hope you don't mind if I take it all for myself, fool! Hydranoid! What? Not the Hydranoid?
Before confronting Naga, it's stated by Shun and Joe that Dual Hydranoid evolving into Alpha Hydranoid would certainly mean that the Infinity Core will be taken from Wyvern in their next encounter.
Somehow he'll get his Hydra to evolve, and When he does, I say he'll be back for more.
We only want a battle. And like Joe said, I'm sure he'll want his revenge.
If we let his Hydranoid evolve, then we can kiss the Infinity Core goodbye.
For more consistency, the Hydranoid should scale to the top tiers of Season 1 is when Masquerade states that being an ultimate level Bakugan is what is needed to be able to wield the Infinity and or the Silent Core.
Bakugan Brawl! Waver, stand!
Waver won't be able to hold on to the Infinity Core if she hasn't become an ultimate Bakugan.
Bakugan recognized.
If Waver is an ultimate Bakugan, then this could be difficult, but I'll have to find out.
Since Alpha Hydranoid can take the Infinity Core from Wyvern with the cast even acknowledging this, it's safe to say that Hydranoid should scale above Wyvern and be an ultimate Bakugan considering that Dual Hydranoid was able to press her hard already. The reason this inverse scaling is important is because Naga, by passively existing with the Silent Core, was able to split Vestroya into 6 separate universes with their own time spaces. We also know that Naga can fuse these universes together to make different dimensions.
By the looks of the terrain, I would venture to guess we're in another newly formed world. One that is a combination of both the darkest dimension and a Pyrus dimension.
Huh? You sure?
I can't be 100% certain, but it would appear so. It was once Vestroya, but now it's being destroyed from within. And to stop its destruction, we must find Naga.
With this in mind, Alpha Hydranoid should be around low multiversal by the end of Season 1, around 6 to 7 times universal ranges, but to a lower degree than Infinity Dragonoid and Naga, considering Naga was going to affect the 6 universes of Vestroya as well as the human one. For speed, Naga states that he and Wyvern would rule beyond the end of time. Hydranoid scaling to these characters would grant him inaccessible speed.
If you dare join me, your life will be spared. Then you will help me rule the cosmos beyond the end of time.
That's never going to happen, Naga! I would never surrender my morals to join the dark side!
Hydranoid's hacks include multiple forms of power nullification, stat amps, accelerated development, power absorption, and mid-level regeneration. Some of his more deadly abilities are limited BFR via Doom Dimension and limited fate manipulation via Gravity Chamber.
And to take a bow.
No, Drago! No, please, don't do this to him! Drago!
Drago! This can't be!
I can't watch!
Oh no! Drago's going down!
Dan, farewell, my friend.
Away with you! Ability activate! Gravity Chamber! This is the power, darkness! Oh no! Must hang on! Ability activate! Dive Mirage! Oh no! I'm so out of my league!
The way Gravity Chamber works is it drags any opponents towards Hydranoid where they instantly lose unless they are stronger than him. I just wanted to explain the way Gravity Chamber works for anyone who was confused on the ability and exactly how it functions. But with Hydranoid's hacks covered, we can now move on to the breakdown. When comparing the stats of these two powerhouses, we see that Alpha Hydranoid has a literal infinite advantage in power and speed over Ghidorah. While Ghidorah is millions of times into Universal Plus, it's nowhere near the lowest level of low multiversal. The reason is because the space between universes is unquantifiable, and to say Ghidorah covers that space the way Naga can is disingenuous with the current material we have. Naga just being able to affect Vestroya and split it into 6 separate universes with their own spacetime and fuse them is just beyond the Showa era. Even in an equal stats fight, Hydranoid has multiple ways to shut down Ghidorah's hacks with his power null and counter his whole kit with Gravity Chamber. Even in this limited form of fate manipulation, it should still be enough because Ghidorah does not have the stats to escape it or any counters to it. So in conclusion, Hydranoid should be able to speed blitz and one-shot Ghidorah. In equal stats, he gets outdone by Gravity Chamber mainly. Ghidorah's regen hacks also isn't as good as Hydranoid's, and his absorption hacks gets countered by Hydranoid's energy merge, which is essentially the same thing. With all this in mind, this leaves me to leave the winner for today, Alpha Hydranoid.